Icelandic Formula Offroad returns, and this time around we're taking a look at the fourth round in Egilsstadir, the Sunday part of the weekend. We had great weather in the eastern part of Iceland this weekend, and 19 cars entered, all in the unlimited class. Skúli Kristjánsson won day number 1. However, Haukur Viðar leads the championship after 2 wins in Hella. After a strong win on day number 1, Skúli Kristjánsson, the reigning champion, is back into the championship image. However, it is Haukur Viðar Einarsson leading with 57 points and is 23 points ahead of Ingimar Björnsson in second place. Now, as usual, there were 6 tracks in Egilsstadir, and now we start with the time attack. Exactly the same track as track 6 on day number 1, and a great opportunity for the drivers to improve. Here we have Skúli Kristjánsson driving Simba, got a time of 44 seconds, and that gave him 330 points. Now, Geirivert Grímsson driving the Sledgehammer. Time attacks have always been his specialty, but a bad time yesterday saw him drop to 6th in the standings, and he is a lot faster here on his second run through the time attack. It's a little bit sideways there, going through the water, misses the turn here, but managed to get it pulled back. There's lost time there. However, that is the quickest time it takes. The Sledgehammer takes an early lead. Let's look at the standings after track number 1. Geirivert led with 340 points. Skúli Kristjánsson 330 in second. The championship leader Haukur with 320 in fourth. With so many cars, we need to move quickly through the tracks. Here is track number 2. This is Páll Jónsson driving the Sheep. A new car for Páll in this event, used to be called Kaldi. However, it's a similar setup to most others. The Chevrolet LS engine, the Powerglide transmission, and Páll utilizing it here. This is a standard track. Big push here. Tries to keep it. Alted. Where's he going? Where is he? The Sheep lost somewhere in the center of the smoke. He just keeps on going. That is one stubborn Sheep. He was far away from the gate, but still trying. Here we have Kristoffer Vegard Lindsson, this car called Tímur. He's a local driver, it's a local car, and we only ever see this old school track here in Egilsstadir. Look at that! Almost makes it. Tries to use the first bank as a jump. Now we have Svanur Tómasson driving Insane, one of the most spectacular drivers in the Formula Offroad season. Will he be the first one to make it up? Full throttle here. He's seen how Tímur does it. No, he won't. I said he was spectacular. He must have forgotten in this track. Only 190 points for Svanur. Next up, Geirivert Grímsson. He leads the day after track number 1. And multiple podiums in this new car last year, but no victories yet. He has only 1 race win in his career, but he has been in the title contention for the last 3 to 4 years. Let's see if Geirivert can get the Sledgehammer to the top here. Pushes it. He's going to go for speed. No, he pushes away there, but he managed to get some traction. That's a fantastic drive by Geirivert. He picks up loads of penalty points, but ends up with 230 points. Let's see him from inside. Next up, Jón Reynir Andrésson. He saw how Geirivert did it. Got his first podium in Hella. Never really found the rhythm in Egilsstadir. Next up, Þórður Atli Guðnýjason driving the Spade. Another podium winner in Hella. Now in his second season in the Formula Offroad. Not a good day yesterday. Will he go all the way here? Yes, he does! Nicely done. That's 230 points as well. Next up, the reigning champion, Skúli Kristjánsson, driving Simba. He needs to gain some points on Haukur if he's going to keep his championship fight alive. Needs a DNF from Haukur at some point. But all Skuli can do is try and win his races. Same as Haukur has been doing. This is Skuli. Nicely done or what? Gets beats there. I thought he had it. That's only 170 points for the champion. It's one of the worst positions that driver finds himself in. Here we have Steingrímur Bjarnason, a street legal legend in his street legal car. However, he's fitted it with paddle tires for Egilsstadir. That's 220 points. That was clever driving. He actually got 220 points without trying, no penalty points. That's only 10 less than the drivers that have gone up so far. Next up, Haukur Viðar Einarsson, driving Hekla. He just missed out on the win yesterday, but still extended his lead in the championship. A lot of power here, and that is just too easy for Hekla. 260 points, the biggest points haul we've seen in track number 2 so far, and that means that Haukur takes the lead, 10 points ahead of Geir Evert, Ingi Már sitting third. Now track number 3, a long track with an, well, relatively easy final climb, but the gates were tricky, so there could be a lot of penalties here. Now Þórmar Pálsson, a former champion in his Raptor, his first season in the new car, and nothing has gone Thor's way so far. And I can say that this is where the hopes of a third title completely vanished. Only 80 points here at the beginning of track number 3. It's an easy track. It was more about penalties. Here we have Haukur Viðar. He should go through easily, but he just got so many penalties. 120 penalty points for Haukur. Now Páll Jónsson driving the sheep. This is the final climb, and he's through it. 20 penalty points, so 330. Next up, Ingvar Jóhannesson driving the Viking. Only 12 points away from a podiumist, and he's doing quite well here at the beginning of day 2. Trickiest part of the course, gets through that, so 270 points. Next up, Geir Evert. He is fighting for the lead here and definitely sees his chances after Haukur getting all those penalties, and no penalties so far. That's a marker touch there, I think. Yeah, it's laying down 20 penalty points there. Now a tricky gate. Will he get through it? Nicely done. The final climb. And he makes it. Only 20 penalty points, and that means that Geir Evert is back in the lead. There we have it. Geir Evert leads Ingi Már, and he has a, well, Geir Evert has a 90-point lead on Haukur, who is in third right now. Skúli Kristjánsson, nowhere to be seen. Next up, track number 4. The most entertaining track of the day in many people's view. Tricky side slope to begin with, and a very, very steep final climb. Next up, Ingvar Jóhannesson driving the Viking. The starting order, well, usually plays a huge part in Egilsstadir. The first car, he has to clean off the loose dust from the top of the surface, and that came into, well, Ingvar's role this time around. Can't see a thing. The car even matches the dust. Probably knows he's driving downhill now, though. You can just see the amount of dust getting thrown up. Now for the final climb. Look at that dust. It's spectacular. But he misses his opportunity there. 200 points for Ingvar. Þórmar Pálsson driving the Raptor. This is Thor's twin brother in his first race. The brothers shared the car, and hopefully Thor will have his other car built in time for the final round in Akureyri. Here we go. Ægir rolls the Raptor. As you can see, there's a white marker on the side of the final climb. You can see it here on the right. If a driver touches that, he's out of bounds. Simple roll for Ægir. So next up we have Fjölnir Guðmundsson. This is Eva 2.0. After a solid season last year with a new car, nothing has worked out in 2022. However, that looks like a car performing with all its horsepower. Let's see what Eva does here in the final climb. Touches the marker, goes all the way, but that's out of bounds. Only 140 points for Fjölnir. Climb looks pretty simple if the drivers manage to cling on to the right, but unfortunately that is not allowed. Next up, Guðmundur Eliasson, the youngest driver of our crop. Only 21 years old, driving his newly built rodeo for this season. It has a pretty low center of gravity. Will that work here? Did he touch the marker? No, he did not. 310 points for Guðmundur. Next up, we have Haukur Viðar, the championship leader. He can extend his lead in the championship here if he makes up for it. Got a bad run in track number 3, but so far so good. Picked up some penalty points in the side slope. Now going for the final climb. Needs to watch out for the marker on the right. Goes for it! And rolls! As well as a photographer. Can we see a replay of the photographer falling backwards? Haukur Viðar, he just went for it. Let's see it again. It's not often you get 2 rolls in one shot in Formula Offroad. Next up, Aron Ingi Svansson. Looks like there's some damage to Hekla. We'll see if he can make it to the next track. The Storm here, he swapped the 2.4 litre Honda engine from last season out for a 6.2 litre V8 Hellcat, and it's pulling, and that's all the way. 40 penalty points. A nicely executed run there. Now, here's a new car in Icelandic Formula Offroad called Ruddi. This is Brynjar Eliasson, a newcomer. The car has competed in Norway. It's an old school looking truck with a classic 350 Chevy with a carburetor and everything. Pedal tires instead of the Super Scoopers though. Final climb. Engine doesn't sound healthy there, but he touches the marker, so that's only 180 points. Made it all the way though. And as a rookie, that counts. Here we have Sævar Benónýsson, Móri, in his rookie season. The car has a distinct look and he needs to learn how to drive this new car. The wheelbase, it at least looks short, might not be so short. But there we go, 230 points. Next up, Ingi Már Björnsson. This is the Smiðjan Bomb. He's in the fight for a podium, but here's a roll for the veteran. 190 points. See it again from on board. Gets thrown up here. That means that he'll be falling from 2nd to 3rd. In a ball of smoke. Next up, Sigurður Ingi Sigurðsson, driving Yippee. Had a great weekend at Hella, however, the weekend has been horrible here at Egilsstadir. Nicely done here. Nicely done. 280 points. And now we have Páll Jónsson driving the sheep. A good result in track 3. Saw him climb the leaderboard. He do the same here. Gets thrown up but managed to get through there. It's nicely done. That will bring Páll up to 6th. Now Gerevert, the event leader at this point. For the final climb, a good run here means he keeps the lead. And there we go! What a jump by Gerevert! 290 points. That's fantastic. Let's see this big air from inside. That is a big hit that he takes when he lands. If Þormar is anywhere close, we need that airplane to land before he can continue. But Jón Reynir Andersson is going first. This is the Thunderbolt, and that was never going to work. A lot more speed needed there at the beginning, but still learning, and 180 points for his troubles. Next up, Svanur Tómasson. Proving to be a bit difficult, but Svanur, well, he's not anywhere close to the actual track. Let's see it from again here. There's a huge drop off there on the side, so it's very lucky to manage to get climbing onto that bank. Now Þormar Pálsson driving the Raptor. It's the final climb here. It gets thrown up there, and what are we looking at? That is the Formula Offroad equivalent of a dog rubbing its behind on a carpet. I have never, ever seen anything like this. What? Yeah. Yeah. Apparently Skúli Kristinsson is next up. He's seen by Þormar how not to do it, but he needs to make it up here to work up some of the mistakes that he's made so far today. Skúli Kristinsson here on the final climb. It's getting a bit tougher. Nicely done. Goes through the gate without penalty points. He didn't go all the way through. I'm sorry. He's on the left there. But that's 300 points. You can see it here. Goes through. The rear tires actually go through the gate, but he doesn't get the 50 points. And, well, they're are awarded extra if a car drives away from the final gate. Needs to drive at least a car length away to get the bonus 50 in full house. Skúli, he's happy with that. And he can be, because it was a nice run and that pushes him right back up the leaderboard. Let's take a look at it. Skúli up to 4th. Geir Evert still leads. He has a 70-point lead on Haukur right now. Ingi Már in 3rd, Skúli 4th, and Ingvar 5th. Next up, the penultimate track of the day. This is Haukur Viðar Einarsson driving Hekla. Now the damage, it was worse than he thought. It wasn't just a broken steering rod, but the steering rack was also broken. They managed to weld another one on, but they didn't have time to finish all the welding. Let's see how Haukur goes in this 5th track of the day. Fighting for the lead here. It's better to be able to steer these cars, so I've heard at least. Decides not to go for a big push here, but that only gives him 130 points. 230 for length, but just so many penalty points there. Next up, Páll Jónsson in the Sheep. And at this point, 5 cars had already failed to make it up the final climb. He's taking battle at gates there. Goes wide, a lot wider than anybody else. It goes for it! And gets through! What a drive. 350 for length, 90 penalty points, so that's 260 for Páll. And he knows it. He's happy. The universal sign of doing well, an air punch. Next up, Geir Evert Grímsson, the event leader at this point. He saw Haukur make a pretty bad run here a little bit earlier. Can Geir Evert go all the way? That would pretty much guarantee him victory, and he does! Nicely done by Geir Evert. Only 30 penalty points, so that's 320 for Geir Evert. Now the champion, Skúli Kristinsson, going for the final gate. No penalty points there. I don't think I've seen that before. And again. So tidy so far. And now for the final climb. Look at that. It goes through the gate. That's a flawless run in this hard track. What a drive. That might be the drive of the season. Next up, Ingvar Johannesson. This is the Viking. It fell down to 5th after track number 4. Was in a podium contention earlier today, and nicely done here, 290 for Ingvar. Next up, Ingimar Björnsson. He's still fighting for a podium place. For the final gate here, no, he's not gonna make it. Didn't get another roll here, but that's definitely going to put him out of the podium contention for now. So let's look at the standings. Geir Evert with a demanding 110-point lead. Ingvar in third, a distant third. Geir Evert has already secured pretty much at least a podium finish. Now, the final track of the day. And here's Thor Thormar Pálsson in his Raptor. Oh, it's really just Thor's day in a nutshell. And the disappointed Thor Thormar jumping out of the truck. Now, Páll Jónsson driving the sheep. He has a chance of beating his previous best finish. That was a result of 5th place. There's a lot of power in the sheep. Look at that, nicely done. But goes way too fast there. However, he goes through the final gate. Look at that, the final gate is so easy, but he just decides to go for it. He rolls through, ends the day on the top, but he got full house, full length there. So a nice run by Páll. Now Ingimar Björnsson, like in Hella. Here the rear drive shaft breaks, and that is costing him a possible podium. Next up, Haukur Viðar still has some steering issues, but will he go all the way here? Yes, he does. That means he beats Ingvar and Ingimar and moves back up to 3rd place. Now, Skúli Kristjánsson, this is the kind of track that he thrives in. Can he get up without the penalty points? Grab some there, but there, is he stuck? Is he moving? That's 350 points for length. Manages to get away. 40 penalty points. So that's 310 points. Now, the pressure is on this man. Geir Evert. A solid run here secures him his first win of the season. Geir Evert, so far, so good. Through the gate. That's the win. And that's his first win since Hella 2019. It's the first win in the new car. And here, Geir Evert's championship is back on track after 2 6th places to begin with. Let's look at the standings. Skúli manages to push up to 2nd. Geir Evert wins. Haukur clinches on to 3rd, even though he had those mechanical failures at the end of the day. Haukur leads the championship with 72 points. Geir Evert getting closer, 53 points in 2nd, and Skúli Kristjánsson back in contention with 49 points in 3rd. Next up, we have Akureyri, not only the last 2 rounds of the Icelandic Championship, but also a 2-day World Championship event. See you then, and thanks for watching.